What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Forever Stranded Lost Souls. Oh yeah, guys. So last episode, we took a little bit of time and we did some quests. We were knocking those out. We still got more quests to do, and we'll probably be looking at some of those today. Also, last episode, we ended up making our draconic armor, which is super awesome. Yeah, but this isn't, like, finalized. We still need to upgrade this. So in preparation for upgrading our armor, I've been making a whole lot of these cores over here, and oh my goodness, this is taking forever and requires so much gold. Yeah, you'd think diamonds would be the most expensive thing, but no, gold. Like, oh man, so much of it. So currently I queued up like 200 draconic cores. Yeah, I'm trying to get all of this draconic crafting out of the way. So I got 200 more of these draconic cores going, and I've already made hundreds more. For all of these wyvern cores. Each one of these requires 6 of those draconic cores. So yeah, you can see I've made like over 1,000 of these things. So I've queued them up, told it to make these wyvern cores, went AFK for like 5 or 6 hours, and then came back and then made some stuff and, you know, whatever. So pretty much what we need to do, if we take a look at these upgrade templates, is that what they're called? They're just called upgrade keys. So if we take a look at one of these, we look at the uses. We can use it to upgrade every single piece of draconic stuff, our armor, our tools, our weapons, whatever, right? But in order to do that, for the tier 1, just the basic, you have to do the basic, then the wyvern, then the draconic, right? We need a draconic core for this stage, and then if we want to go to the second stage, we need a wyvern core plus 2 draconic cores, and then to get to the third stage, the draconic stage, we need an awakened core plus 2 wyvern cores. Yeah, so it progressively gets more and more expensive, especially the really expensive part, just the amount of time that it takes to craft all of this stuff. Now that's just for one upgrade on one item. So if we, where is it? How do you do it? Okay, you press control. You can see there's upgrades for this where you can do RF capacity, shield recovery. So just for this draconic helmet, we have to go through all 3 of those stages 3 times. So that's 9 upgrades. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. This one has the same upgrades. This one has movement speed, which we'll probably be doing. This one has jump boost, which I don't think we'll be doing. I never use jump boost. And then I would also like to look at making the draconic staff of power. Draconic staff of power. This guy right here is the ultimate draconic evolution melee weapon mining tool. So to make that, you got this crazy recipe where we need these draconic tools and weapons. So like the draconic pickaxe comes from the wyvern pickaxe, crafted with an awakened core and a draconic energy core, which we've seen before, which is also an awakened core. So each one of these weapons requires essentially 2 of these awakened cores, right? Plus all of this stuff, another wyvern core and this stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into all of this. So again, just trying to get all of these things crafted so we have extras and we don't have to wait on it for so long. But before we get started on that, whoops, keep trying to click on this thing. Let's go claim some of these quests that we already have. Our tier 3 seeds, our tier 4 seeds, forgot to do that. Tier 5 seeds, which is kind of interesting. I see that it does not say that we have completed Fluex or Yellorium, even though we definitely have both of those, but it also wants us to make these Blaze seeds. So let's take a look at Blaze seed. We'll try and knock out some of these easy things first. Let some of this crafting happen. That's still going to take a little bit of time, and then we'll get started on the Draconic Evolution portion of today's episode. So the Blaze seed does require us to have Blaze chunk, which we don't have, but we do have tier 5 chunks from our wither skeletons. So we can take a tier 5 chunk, wrap that in blaze rods, and then we can get blaze chunks. Okay, so let's take a look at our mob let's just search chunk. So yeah, we have wither skeleton chunks. All right, so let's take 4 of those. We'll go smelterize them. Get smelterized. All right. So now we have unspecified chunks that we can wrap with the blaze rod. Like so, there we go. And there's our blaze chunks, perfect. Okay, so now we got that done. We just need to make ourselves a tier 5 seed, and then we should be able to craft this thing And there it is. Very easy. Now the blaze chunks, let's take a look at this. The uses for that gives us the blaze essence, which turns into blaze rods. Okay, so that's probably a seed that we will want at some point, but it's not super important right now. As you saw, we had a full unupgraded drawer full of the blaze rods, and then we also have blaze where we can spawn in with our mob spawner, and then we have these molten cores, which I think you can turn into more blaze rods. So we're okay in the blaze rod situation at this point in time. So blaze seed says that it's done. Fluix and Yellorium still says it's not done. All right, so let's just make these. We've already made them before. It says we haven't. We'll just go ahead and do it again. So let's make 2 more tier 5 seeds. We're gonna need those for both of these. Okay, and then there's the Fluix and then Yellorium. And there's that. All right, so now it should be happy. We've made them for the second time. It's still not happy. It's still not saying that we've done the thing with the stuff. It says it's all complete. It's just not dinging. Detect submit. There it goes. Okay, that's weird. So let's claim our chest. Awesome. All right, so we got another thing done. We can put these other seeds, I guess, away in the system. Don't necessarily need them on our person at this point in time. This final seed here, the tier 6 mystical seed, wants us to have all of these, but we've already done these. I don't understand. Can I click the detect submit? No. Okay, so nether star seed. We'll make 1 more. Why not? We could just manually complete it, but we'll just do this. It's fine. Let's see. We need... Oh, you know what? We can't do that until we get the thing over here, can we? Yeah, that's going to be a problem with how fast we're collecting Sympherium Essence. If I take this thing out to make the higher end stuff... Okay, so let's do this. I have been working on a way to shut off the farm. So we're using the mechanical users, right, in order to harvest all of our crops at our farm. They can use a redstone signal in order to be turned on and off. So I set each one of those to turn off with a redstone signal. Let's head over to the farm. I'll show you guys this. Another reason why I wanted to do this wasn't just to turn it off because I wanted the resource to stop coming in, but specifically because it's getting a little laggy over here now with all of these farms going. It wasn't bad with a few of them, but now we got all of these. Yeah, definitely feeling that FPS drop. So I decided to use the wireless redstone thing like we're using for our draconic evolution, like to start the crafting. There's an advanced version of that redstone interface. Let's take a look at this thing. Redstone interface. Yeah, so the basic redstone interface is what we're using, where you link this block to one other block, and then if this receives a redstone signal, like that piece of redstone right there would receive a redstone signal, right? So the advanced redstone interface is the same thing, except you can link it up to 9, but you need to use the position filters. Okay, so I've done that over here. We have 2 of these things. I have position filters set to the exact center of the redstone on 9 of these and 1 of them, and then to the 10th one in this last one. So if I flip this flip this lever, we give both of these a redstone signal. You can see all that redstone over there turns on. Yeah, this is really, really nice. All the lag goes away. It stops harvesting. So essentially, this lever turns on and off our farms, which is great. Okay, so now we can go back over here. We don't have to worry about all that stuff coming into the system all the time. So we won't be getting any more essence. So I can borrow this thing and we can make our essence. So let's take a look at our red essence stuff. Here we needed to make, I think 8 of those, right? Because we need the seed, nether star seed. Okay, so that's a tier 5. We'll make one of those real quick. I'll put that back in my inventory because we're going to need it here very shortly. So we'll make that guy and we'll make this guy. Oh, we don't have any nether stars crafted. Easy. Okay, there we go. Nether star seed. Is it happy? Is it going to be like, hey, you did the thing? Doesn't look like it. Detect submit. Okay. There it is. Now it's happy. So we'll put this guy back. We'll warp back over to our farm, turn it all on so we're still collecting our stuff. And just like that, an explosion of items everywhere. All right, that'll take care of itself here in a little bit. Yeah, so now that we have all those farms in sync, before it was looking like we're getting about 13 to 14 items at a time. Now it's like filling up this chest every time. I guess the import bus here kind of slowed down since it didn't have any work to do and then had to catch back up. It's like, oh, now I got items. So yeah, you can see we're getting like full chest full of this stuff every time. And then the import bus is like pulling in all those items like instantly. Anyway, it's still keeping up. It's still doing what it needs to do. We could probably add another import bus and make it a little bit faster, but again, I don't really think that's necessary. Anyway, so now that we got those quests done, there's a few more quests in this section that I might just knock out just to get them done. Like, we're never going to be using this furnace. We're never going to be using that coal. Mystical fertilizer. This stuff is kind of cool. Apparently, I have completed this by having this in my inventory, but never completed. All right, so let's just detect submit it. Fertilized essence. That's another item that we are getting from our farms here. We have 342,000 of it. Look how fast we're getting it. It's like 2 to 5 per second or something like that. Anyway, this stuff you can use to right-click on a mystical agriculture crop and it'll instantly grow it. So you could set up like one of those mini farms or whatever like you would do in vanilla to harvest carrots or wheat or whatever for like one specific crop. If you wanted to like grow it super fast, you'd have one like right-clicking the essence on there and like another one just right-clicking to harvest the mechanical users. And you could get stuff like super fast if you needed to do that, which we don't really. But anyway, so let's pop open these chests real quick. So if we do this, we get air. Yes, just what I wanted. All right, so that's actually balls of fur from Actually Additions. We get ourselves an absorption hopper, double compressed cobble, more heart containers. Just go ahead and use them. I guess. I don't know why we need more hearts. And then a whole lot of random foods. All right. The balls of fur, I don't think we've seen those yet in this series. You can right click on them and then they give you a random item. These generally come from cats. If you find a cat, you tame it, it'll just make a fur ball like every so often, like every few minutes or so. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But yeah, you get random items. You can get diamonds out of these things. I don't think we need anything in particular out of all of this stuff, but we'll just go ahead and right click them all and see what we get. All right, so we ended up getting planks, clay, some fish, ink sacs, puffer fish, feathers, leather. It looks like we didn't get anything really super expensive. We did get ender pearl, solidified experience, some iron, cobweb, vines, and gravel. All right, so nothing like crazy good. Anyway, so now that we got that stuff done, we should be able to knock out all these other quests. I don't think there's anything too crazy here. I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of these things off camera. We have all the essence. It's just a bunch of crafting. So let me go ahead and knock these out real quick and we'll be right back. Oh boy, guys. So I just went through a whole lot of crafting. You can see all the different things that I've made in my inventory here. I made the wrong tinkering table. I thought it wanted me to make the supremium one, but apparently it wanted me to make the inferium one, so I made 2 of those. All these different charms for the different armor upgrades and extra blocks of superium. I guess I don't need these anymore. That was just a mistake. I made too many of those just so I didn't have to keep making them. I made so many patterns here, though, for, like, all this crafting. Where is it? So we made, like, all these different tool core patterns. Each one of these tools, the different levels requires a tool core of that level, and each core requires the previous core, so it just made sense to set up patterns for all of these. The paxels, you have to do this as a crafting task, not a retrieval task, so I had to set up patterns for each of, like, the ingredients that goes into each one of those paxels. So there's all of that stuff. The resistance required us to have these superium apples, which requires a previous tier in each recipe, so I had to make all these. And then I figured, we'll just make the supremium apple. We might start using that as our normal food source. As far as I remember, that's supposed to be a pretty good food source. Anyway, so we'll look at that maybe in the future sometime if we want to finally switch off of our powdered donuts. Yeah, seed reprocessor, ultimate furnace, like all of this stuff. The furnace is really good. We're probably not going to be hooking it up, but this thing, if I remember correctly, will smelt like 4 stacks of items off like a coal piece or something. It's been a long time since I've last messed with this, but let's just check it out real quick. So we'll do 1 piece of coal, 1/8 of a clump of coal in there. Yeah, and it just smelts items so fast. And I think it does do like 4 stacks if like you pull the items out and keep this thing going. It's like so much that it does. It's so good. Anyway, we're probably not going to be using that. I don't know. It really depends, I guess, on what our smelting needs are in the future. A lot of this stuff we're not going to be using, to be completely honest. We're just crafting it because it is a quest and it wants to be crafted. So we got all of that stuff done, which is good. So that leaves us with our quest book looking a little bit like this. Yeah, we are only seeing the Inferium and I think maybe the Prudentium on this. So we unlocked all of these. I think it just showed the Inferium before, so we unlocked all of these. Each one of these furnaces required the previous tier, so we only ended up with the ultimate furnace here at the end. But anyway, we have so many quests here with unclaimed rewards. This is a choice one. This one's different. Okay, we'll take that. Most of these just have a loot chest. Yeah, that was kind of weird that there's a choice on that particular one, but whatever, it's fine. We'll do all this. These guys, oh my goodness, guys. What am I doing? I'm clicking like the wrong things here. Back, this one, claim, this one. Yep, clicking that back button so many times to get out of the quest, it just kind of like went out of the section. All right, so we got all of that done. We have an inventory full of loot chests. Pop it, Blacker Lotus. Okay, so those are good. Double compressed, we already had that one. Vial of Vigor, Smiley Cloud, all the cakes, Chameleon Storage. We got ourselves an anvil plus a efficiency 5 book. All right, that's kind of cool. Titanium dust and structure frame tier 1 from environmental tech. Well, it's an epic reward, but I don't think we're ever going to be getting to that stuff at all. All right, let's start cleaning up some of these rewards that we got. We got too much stuff in our inventory. All right, so there's that efficiency 5 book and more cakes and other such things. Okay, so we'll put all that stuff away. All right, so let's move on. So we get ourselves 2 quadruple compressed cobble, a heart container, rending gale, dragon chestplate. This is a legendary reward. So dragon egg mill too. That's kind of cool. Full set gives you flight, strength, fire resistance, and resistance. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I don't think we're going to be using that armor. Like, our awakened armor is pretty much the most end game. There is also the Avaridia armor in this, which is like makes you unkillable or whatever, but I find that I like the draconic armor better because you can set up movement speed to go way faster. You can set up stop on a dime so you don't like keep cruising if you're going at a fast speed and you want to stop. There's a lot of things about it I like personally better, but I guess technically the Avaridia armor is probably the best armor. But anyway, so now that we got all of that done, that took a minute. Let's take a look at our crafting status here. Where are we at? All right, so we only got 40 of these things remaining. So yeah, you can kind of tell I've been at this for a while. There was like, what, 60 or something remaining when I started here. Yeah, I've been at this for a minute. I did also upgrade our seeds in the farm. That was one of the quests here, to make the tier 6 Inferium seeds. So I upgraded all 9 of our seeds to the tier 6 one. Also, I made myself another master infusion crystal so we don't have to keep stealing the one out of our RF Tools crafter. For some reason, I had in my head that that thing was like super expensive. It was at a time, but now it's not so bad. So I just made another one so we can do our regular crafting with it when we need Insanium for whatever reason. I don't know if we're going to need any more going forward. All right, so over here, this is still doing its thing. This has been done for a while. We can start looking at upgrading our armor, but in order to do that, I am going to have to make some of the awakened cores, and I'll have to figure out how many of these we're going to need. Yeah, I think there's quite a few of these that we need. I'll have to, I think it's 23, if I remember correctly. Then we're also going to need more if we're going to make like the draconic staff of power. Yeah, so if we want to make this thing, like we were looking at before, we have to make 3 of these tools, and each one of these tools does require an awakened core. So that's going to be, well, I guess 6 more. So I guess I need to make like 29 awakened cores to get us started, and then I'm going to have to make these awakened cores too. So I'm going to start on that. So awakened core, 29 of these things. So that means we need 29 nether stars, 29 times 6 wiring cores, and 29 times 4 awakened draconium blocks. The draconium we are doing pretty good on. Yeah, anyway, so I'll just go ahead and make up 29 nether stars. I'm going to start down this path here to get us going on this. I'll make these cores. I'll try and make the draconic energy cores or whatever, and we'll be right back, guys. Pretty sure I mentioned before that you can't put more than one item in the fusion crafting core here to do multiple at a time. Absolutely incorrect. You can do it. Maybe there was a point in time previously where you weren't allowed to do it, but it definitely allows me to put in all 29 nether stars here. It started crafting, and then it's just using one at a time as it crafts the next one. So that makes this really, really fast. So I can just kind of walk away when I'm done hearing the sound. It's good to go. Anyway, let's wait for this to finish up, guys. Alright guys, so I just went ahead and made up the wyvern pickaxe and the draconic pickaxe. Same thing with the sword and the shovel, so we should be good to start making our draconic staff of power. It does require a bunch of stuff. I guess I did need another awakened core, but I guess we will make that when we need it in a little bit anyway. So we need the pickaxe, the sword, and the shovel. Draconic pickaxe, sword, and shovel. Yeah, those have partial RF because I had the wyvern in my inventory and those filled all the way up. So these have 16 million RF storage by default, as opposed to the wyvern having 4 million, I think. Anyway, so now that we got those done, we should be able to put those in the thing here. So let's take a look at this one more time. So we need the pickaxe in the center. We need 5 awakened draconium blocks around the outside. Okay, we needed one of these awakened cores. We need a shovel. We need a sword. And then the pickaxe goes in the center. There we go. Okay, so with all of those things combined, we're going to be making this, which has a partial power storage bar. So what is that going to hold? Like 30 million RF or something? I guess we'll find out here in just a moment. So the draconic staff of power is all of those tools in one. Yeah. Plus, it can be really good when you upgrade it with some of the other buffs on it. So, Staff of Power, this guy, 48 million RF. Okay, so that's just charging up wirelessly thanks to our Flux network stuff. Same thing as our wireless crafting terminal. So that is completely filled. It does require us to have 52 magic and defense, apparently. Interesting. Where are we at on those? Magic... We are at 51, and defense are at 50. Okay, well, we can fix that. Let's grab our tome. Tome of Knowledge. All right, so we will do defense. We'll buff this up. So we're at 28. Oops, wrong. Change it. So, was it 32? No, it's 28 levels. All right, so we need to do that one more time. 28, and then on magic. Okay, so now we should be good. Yeah, we're good on all of those different requirements now. So this pretty much replaces all of our tools. We don't need any of that stuff anymore. You can see it has 60 attack damage compared to our sword, which was pretty good at 25 attack damage. That's after I've like improved it about as good as I can get it. Yeah, so this is already by default twice the power. Well, over twice the power. Yeah, this like instant mines blocks. It does pretty much anything you'd want it to do as a pickaxe. Let's go down, check it out, see what it is at its default speed and configuration with no further upgrades. I guess right here should be fine. All right. Yeah, so that's just instant mine. Now, this doesn't have fortune or anything like that. And I can't remember, can we make the AoE of this thing any bigger by default, or do we need to improve it first? Attack radius. Okay, so the attack radius is 0 or 2. Dig AoE is a 1x1. We can go a 3x3 or a 5x5, it looks like. That's pretty good. Just gotta make sure that you don't like do a 5x5 into the ground. So by default, this thing is already just racking all these blocks. That's really awesome. Okay, I couldn't remember if you needed to upgrade it or not to improve that. Now the thing is, if you make that attack the dig AoE too big and you accidentally click in your base, you're gonna have a bad time. So there is a well, there used to be a AoE safe mode. This when enable, this tool will not break anything if it detects an tile entity within its AoE range. So like if you click on your ME terminal, it won't break the terminal and all 5 blocks around it. It'll be like, hey, there's a tile entity here. We're not gonna mine it all. So you kind of want that on if you have the AoE on. But generally speaking, I think we'll leave this as a 1x1. But you can improve this and get it up to like, I think a 13x13 radius. If you do all the upgrades, it can get pretty crazy. Anyway, so we don't necessarily need that at the moment. We're not doing too much manual mining. Dig depth. Yep. So you can make it do a 5x5x5 by default, apparently. So that would be really good. So let's check that out real quick. Dig AoE. We'll put this up to a 5x5. So if we click this, yeah, that's doing a lot of work for us, guys. That's really, really good. That would have helped out a lot if we had that earlier. Would have helped out a whole lot for digging out underneath our base. But now that we have it, I'm not sure if we need to do any more digging. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and bring this back down so we don't do something silly. Junk filter is good, so that will allow you, oh yeah, there's a thing here for configure. That'll allow you to like delete certain items if you don't want any of those items coming in. It does look like the AoE does work with the level up mod where we're getting double ores by mining them. So that's really cool. All right, so our inventory is pretty much full. Let's get rid of all of this junk real quick. Things that we don't need on us. Yeah, so our old tinker stuff, not sure what we're doing with it. I guess we'll just keep it in our pouch. If we don't need the tinker stuff, that means we really don't need all these sharpening kits. Yep. Well, anyway, it definitely saves a lot of space. We have more room in our hotbar for things that are more important now, which is good. So we can keep all of these things on our hotbar. So the other thing that I'd like to do is make the draconic bow. If we're going to be looking at fighting the Chaos Guardian at some point in the future, we're going to want the Chaos bow because that will allow us to... at range do lots of damage to it, and that's pretty much what you need to do. You don't want to fly up to it and like smack it with your draconic staff of power. Okay, so draconic bow. Let's take a look at this guy. We do that, so we need the wyvern bow, which is a regular bow, wyvern core, energy core. Okay, so let's do an energy core. One of those guys. And we're gonna need some nether stars and a regular bow because I don't think we have any. Easy. Okay, so now we have all of that stuff. We should be able to make the bow of the wyvern, and then we need to upgrade that to this one. So we need an awakened core and draconic energy core. So we can make the draconic energy core next. Start, and then we're gonna need a awakened +2 of these guys and this guy in order to upgrade that bow to the awakened variant. Okay, so we'll let that finish up here in just a second. We'll add these things into our crafting. Yeah, I can already see that I have not made enough stuff. Like, I've made a lot of stuff, but I have not made enough stuff, unfortunately. So that's some kind of a core, right? Draconic core, I can't remember. Awakened, draconic. There it is, found it. Okay, so that guy goes there, and then we put the bow in here, and then that'll upgrade it to the wyvern tier. Okay, so now that we got all of that done, we still have to go through Draconic and make these upgrade keys for the things that we want to upgrade. Things like attack damage, we're going to want to upgrade. Things like draw speed, arrow speed, shield recovery, and capacity. We're going to want that on all of our armor. I don't know if we need to do the RF capacity. Like I said, since we already have wireless power coming to all of our stuff, it might be a good idea, but I don't know if we need it. So let's grab our Draconic bow. Okay, so that's pretty good too. Yeah, we'll probably put that there and move things around, figure out where things are going to go eventually. All right, so we are doing awesome. So yes, we need to make these keys. Now, again, each one of these keys, let's look at attack AoE. No, actually, no. Let's do like shield capacity. This is one we're going to be doing right away. So that isn't super crazy on the crafting recipe for that. And then the uses, once again, does require us to have the golden apples and diamonds, Eye of Ender, and a Draconic core, followed up by 2 Draconic cores, a Wyvern core, followed up by 2 Wyvern cores and an Awakened core. So I'm going to go through, upgrade all of our armor with this stuff. I might just do all of the upgrading. I don't know. But I'll definitely do the armor real quick. Try and knock that out, and then we'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, well I just spent like the last 30 minutes upgrading all of our stuff here. So our Draconic Staff of Power is upgraded as full as we're going to get it, our bow, and all of our armor. If we look, we can press Control and it shows like the different upgrades here. So we have Draconic on all of these different things. Movement speed I didn't upgrade. We probably might at some point, but it's not important right now. Jump boost I'm not going to upgrade at all. But yeah, everything else is Draconic. Same thing on the Staff of Power, RF capacity, attack damage, attack AoE. You can see now the attack damage went up from 60 to 105. Pretty powerful is what it is. And then the Draconic bow, I upgraded all 4 stats to the Draconic level. So that means the draw speed, that the arrow damage, all this stuff is really, really high. Now I think on the bow, we need to have like an arrow or infinity or something. I can't remember how that all works. But anyway, I'll definitely be taking a look at this. Yeah, I think we have to have infinity on here in order for this thing to work. Arrow of Draconic Fire, arrow base damage. So yeah, we can bring that all the way up. The higher this is, the more RF per shot. We can do auto fire if we wanted to. Magnification will zoom us way in when we're holding down. I don't think we want to do that though. I think that gets annoying, so we'll leave that all the way off. Shockwave power, arrow velocity, we want that all the way up. Okay, and then explosion. Yeah. So these are things that we'll be looking at probably next time. We'll be seeing what else we can do to our armor. I can't remember if we can enchant. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let's go into here. There used to be a way where you could put books of enchantment on your armor to enchant it. I don't think that's a thing anymore. I think you have to enchant it with an anvil or other modded means. But yeah, we'll definitely be looking at that next time. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.